I was enthusiastic about, I guess, how Wakanda was being presented initially. I think it has a great villain in the story. I think there's an emotional connection to his story, which makes the story complex. And I felt like there was a lot of ground that we didn't cover in Civil War. That we had a lot of room in this one, and they took a lot of room, and so I was enthusiastic about everything that we were about to do. I think he already saw what I was doing from Civil War, and so I think he took that and just sort of moved it into this movie. We seemed like we were on the same page from the beginning, in terms of what the character was, what he sounded like, what he looked like, where his strengths were. So our conversations were more about the total story than the character itself. Well, he's coming off of the death of his father in Civil War. He's returning to Wakanda. There's the high possibility that he will become the ruler. There's division within the country because Wakanda is not necessarily a homogenous group of people. There are different tribes with different points of view, different. They have their own agendas, each tribe, and so they're united by their past and united also by a good king. They need a good king in order to bring everyone together. So he's returning to what could be turmoil. He's returning to a place where he feels a certain sense of guilt because his father was out in the world with him, and there are people that don't believe that Wakanda should even be out in the world. So he's returning to a place where he has to essentially piece everything together and earn his right to be king. It's essentially the gateway into what their technology is. It also is a gateway into what their inner conflicts are, because how to use vibranium or whether to use vibranium or not is essentially the conflict between the Jabari tribe and the Golden tribe or the T'Challa's tribe, and so it's in some ways it's almost like a nuclear weapon to a certain degree. It's great that you have it, but how do you use it? And at the same time, it allows a certain amount of flexibility as far as technology is concerned, and also in terms of their traditional spirituality is connected to that, how it affects the plant system or the ecosystem, how it affects him physically. All of that is part of what vibranium is. It's like they have a personal relationship because they've known each other since they were kids, and at the same time they all have their positions within the kingdom that they have to fulfill, which sometimes conflict with those personal relationships. Denai. They're Denai and Lupita. They're both great actresses. They're both very, very, very strong. Very opinionated. It's just I felt secure with them, like as an actor on my side, not just as T'Challa. I felt secure, like I had good partners to work with, people that would give me something anytime I was working with them. So that's always great. Like you can take it for granted actually when you have it almost every day. So it's incredible to work with them. Michael B. Jordan did a great job in bringing his take on Killmonger to the screen, and he's complex. I think Killmonger is complex because, you know, he's gonna have a valid point. I think his point is valid. It's one that when you look at it, you might be like, I hope that never happens, and some people might be like, I hope that does happen one day. So it's he's complex because when you look at the reasons behind why he's doing it from a personal standpoint, from the sense of how much loss he's felt and how long it's set inside of him, regardless of how far he's taken it, regardless of how how much how negative the steps may be. It comes from the origin of those things come from a justified point.